Hi guys, welcome to a new video. So today we'll take a look at another game between actually Legit and Retroblader. So we are back in Armies of Exigo with a 1v1, and today we have two players that we also haven't seen too much in these videos. I think we had one game with Legit against Soulskeeper like 2 videos ago, and I don't think we had any Retroblader games yet. So we can take a look on this. We are on the map Eclipse, and we have Legit in the top right corner with the Purple Empire. And then we have Retroblader in the bottom left corner with the Sand Fallen. So of course a 2-player map, there is a safe expansion, pretty narrow entrance, but after that might be a little bit harder to expand. There is this base which has also a narrow entrance, so kinda easy to defend with some towers. At the same time it's kinda far away from the main base or even the natural expansion, so might be a little bit harder to always keep an eye on that. And then we have another expansion down here, or actually up here. Which is kinda a natural continuation of expanding. If you take this base, then the fourth one will be probably this one. A little bit more open, but kinda nice to defend, I would say, most of the time if you have units there. This base is really in the front, pretty dangerous. And then we have this one down here, which is also kinda nice, pretty similar to this. Even a little bit further, I would say, but also narrow entrance, so could be also the fourth base there if you want to. And then there is one secret expansion in the top left corner for mineral fields, which I like to use. I even have one video, I think, where I used it, I believe against Suvak or Soulskeeper someone, where I just made instant expansion there. I think it was my second base, and then I made a third base in the natural expansion, and they didn't scout it the whole game, so that was a nice extra secret base. That definitely got me some decent resource advantage. But outside of that, this base is not utilized that much, I think, in general. You won't see it in many games used, because it's just the only expansion that is not actually on one side. It's just completely in the middle, and you should be kind of fighting for it, and also it's pretty far away. So just a small conclusion about all the bases. We see Retroblader going for a front base, the former into Hive, then going for expansion, so kinda late. He actually placed it down on 16 population after the Hive actually finished, so that's really late. At the same time we see Legit also not expanding yet, so it's not like Retroblader would be really falling that much behind. And of course the build time for Empire is 10 seconds faster, but this is already more than 10 seconds, so this is actually not looking that bad. Legit of course scouted everything here with his peasant, dragged one harvester from gold, so that's not bad. Not bad at all. He wasted some resources here for Retroblader, and we see second summoner now. Not getting into control for him immediately, and he's locked on population, so definitely losing some resources there. Eventually going for incubator, but also sitting on lots of gold, so definitely not the most efficient moment. Legit on the other side has population, but he's not producing peasants anyways, so he had some gap there too, so kinda balanced, I would say, at this point. There is already a tower, one barracks, one swordsman, one farm, and we actually see Legit potentially being interested in this base. I think after I released the video when I took this base secretly, more people started trying to take it, but it's still not the same thing, like taking it immediately. But we see a tower here, so potentially it could be taken later. Definitely trying to prepare for that, but at the same time now people know about it, so there is a higher chance that someone will scout it. And we see harvester production not splitting them from the main base, so not the most efficient gathering by redistributing. And at the same time it's not that bad to leave more here, because usually we'll get the wood here, and also you can just trade the gems mine faster. So the 4 harvesters are usually transferred to expansion immediately. It's a little bit of an overkill. 3 is probably more optimal, and you could even go 2. But of course 0 is usually not ideal. So yeah, second Hive, also lightning spire, still lots of gold there, but actually same population, getting improved metabolism, 2 stingers in the front here. We see peasant scouting for this base now, in case Fallen would go for greedy third base immediately. Legit also not redistributing peasants, so that's also not something that would really matter in this matchup. Lots of wood gathering here from Legit. Retroblader kinda struggling with the wood there, only one harvester. Would probably go for the second one potentially there. Even a third Hive. And now the Valkygun, so he's trying to rush guards as soon as possible. He has the tower there, so basically unscoutable without the Phoenix for now. Queuing 2 harvesters in a row is usually not recommended, basically in any scenario. but he was actually able to queue up 4 harvesters now and still stay on like 400 gold. So in this situation, I guess it's kind of fine, so you don't forget about it and have another gap there. Outside of that, you guys of course always want to produce everything by one, and then use the resources in the meantime for something else instead of looking like 1k gold in your production buildings and then trying to wait for that, all of that to produce while all the resources are just locked there, while you could already be getting something else. You can always make more harvesters, prepare them for the expansions. If you have wood, you can always get new expansions, or you can just make more tech or more production buildings, just anything. Of course, he doesn't have much wood, he has only gold, so in that case you can make basically only harvesters and stingers, and he doesn't have population, so it's kinda a tough spot, but of course, yeah, then you also kinda need to pre-make some summoners. Valkyrie finally finished, but no guards are being produced immediately. Population will be fixed in a second, but there is actually some stingers queued up, so those should be cancelled, and guards should be already in production. The stinger actually scouted this tower, we can see, so this got scouted. The question is, will Retroblader actually react to it? At the same time, legit, if he saw that, he will most likely not expand here anymore at least, because he knows that Retroblader knows about it, and it wouldn't be safe anymore. Wouldn't be secret, let's say. Another reformer in the back, I mean, there is still lots of building space, so not really necessary, but not that big of a problem. Getting a soldier rep as well, faster movement speed for the guards, they are finally in production, also going for an expansion on this side actually. Actually let it prepare the tower here, so that's a good move, even though probably kinda random. I don't think he saw the tower, but a little bit lucky there. Also stinger here. It can be sometimes good to not expand on the most obvious position, because then even though it's maybe a little bit further and harder to defend, it can take longer time for the enemy to actually find out about it, so not always necessary to expand on the most optimal or used position, but usually that's the strategy. So first 3 guards are already here, not being used for anything yet, but the ground army is slowly moving somewhere. Legit preparing some towers on the villagers, one is upgraded, one is not, getting a phoenix. Second blacksmith actually, getting upgrades for both swordsmen and elf rangers, and starting to make some first elf rangers, plus he has some priest already as well. I don't think he has resurrection, but definitely priest will be there. 2 more farms also with teamwork, so he already has that, and he's getting castle. And we see Retroblader making 3 towers here. Not the most optimal position for the Dark Fortress. I think he placed the Deformer first, and then he has to move the Dark Fortress to the side, so the Gemsman is pretty far away. But I think 2 Harvesters should still be fine here. If it will be peasants or minions, you would have to make 3, but should be probably still fine here. It got scouted immediately by Legit. Tower finished, damaged the Phoenix a little bit, but of course it will probably just escape. Phoenix is not that low HP to just die to a tower immediately. And we see the guards finally coming somewhere. Didn't see the tower here. Phoenix is nowhere near this area. Retroblader actually scouting the mirror position of the expansion that he took, because he knows that this one is not taken because of the stinger, so, or thanks to the stinger, so that's actually good. He is 14 population ahead. Now the stinger will die, so he could kinda expect that expansion will be here. Maybe he'll even see the peasants if he actually looked here. But there is teamwork, so this expansion will appear here in a second. Definitely under a minute. And guards are actually retreating. That's interesting. I mean, he saw lots of swordsmen and 1 phoenix, so he shouldn't be too scared, and also I don't think Legit saw a single guard yet. And he has lots of them, so definitely could try something here, even though this Phoenix already has enough mana for a Nova. But Retroblader didn't get he got scouted, but didn't attack the Phoenix, and Legit wasn't looking here probably. And if he splits the guards, they are kinda safe against 1 Phoenix. But looks like actually Legit maybe saw it. He's moving here with Elf Rangers, preparing more towers on the villagers, moving here with the Phoenix as well. Also, Obsidian Tower is already finished. And we see some harassment on the worker line on the wood, which could be detrimental because Legit has only 200 wood and now he lost basically all the wood gatherers. That is the Nova. And he's immediately retreating. I don't like this. That is one Phoenix, one Nova won't kill you. So the attack should continue. I would finish the tower, then kill the Phoenix. And then probably just continue farming the castle. And definitely also split the guards, ideally, of course. But now he actually flew across 2 other towers. So he's taking even more damage. And I mean, he still got some kills. It's not like he wouldn't get any value from this, but it could have been definitely way more efficiently done. Legit should definitely already start gathering here again. That's really important. Now he's losing so many resources. Also, he's reacting with some more towers. He definitely needs to renew the worker line on the wood. Like, with the main priority, he has only 100 wood now. He's getting steel arrow upgrade, so he's on 2-1 upgrade and 2-0 will be on the Elf Rangers. Retroblader 21 population ahead, getting nightmares now. Has some new guards at home as well. Healing on this unholy ground, that's good. This base not really getting scouted anymore, but Legit is not taking it, so not that big of a problem. But Legit literally 0 resources now. We have 100 gold, 100 gems, and literally 0 wood. That's why I was saying that he should renew the worker line on the wood immediately. He also doesn't have much gold, but definitely at least 6 peasants should be immediately moved from the gold to the wood to not get locked there. He could also try to go for a push because Retroblader obviously invested lots of resources and population into the guards. And since Legit has an army of few Phoenixes and few Elf Rangers with some priests to deal with that, even getting a decree now, so just maybe some mages, yeah. He should be able to push on the ground because he also has lots of swordsmen to deal basically with anything he will face. And that is the tower. Tower cannot stop an Arc Fortress, but obviously it can damage it and kill potentially some units that will try to destroy it, so still dangerous. And obviously it has to be destroyed, otherwise it will keep killing harvesters, yeah, so he will have to come here with his guards. That's of course big enough army to deal with that. Here we have the 3 Phoenixes. And double Sorrow Shrine, full matriarch production, 5 hives, lots of production buildings, I like this. But he's still sitting on lots of gold, so would probably... he still has some gems, so I would spend the extra gems, get probably more matriarchs, maybe one more nightmare, and then just pump all the gold into stingers to get to full population and go for a timing push. Seems like the best idea here. He's actually getting 2 Avengers. Could be also decent, so he can deal with towers, so I don't have a problem with that. Even though he definitely needs more matriarchs as well. At least like 6 or 8 for this army. But he could still make some stingers, yeah. Just so he has some mass of units to push. But definitely there is already mages, so he needs Void Walkers too. He has 1 for now, hopefully he already has anti-magic. Getting Mental Equilibrium, not really worth it for 2 units, but can be done. Where is the Vengeance Hall? Not Vengeance Hall. This guy, Hall of Whispers. No upgrade happening there right now. So actually guards managed to destroy this, and then Legit just one-shotted 2 of his peasants with a decree. But he's definitely preparing for it now really well. So yeah, his base got destroyed. Now he will be playing 2 against 3 bases for a while. Even though before this will get saturated, or even start getting saturated because not even a harvester is being produced here. This will most likely be already finished. And he has the peasants already there. As you can see, the build time is insane. Yeah? He lost the base and he has it back literally under a minute. So that's totally crazy, and he can start gathering immediately again. So this harassment basically didn't really achieve anything. It will have to be combined with some split push with the ground army at the same time. And yeah, this is incubators number 2. Harvesters kinda lost here. Not sure what. Yeah, they're probably going to the new base there because this is emptied. And we see lots of upgrades. Also new matriarchs, but mainly Avengers now. 1-1 upgrades, the other units 1 and 2. Legit already 2 and 1 and 2 and 0. 17 AFK peasants, okay. He finished the base, but he's not gathering it anyways, so not getting much value from there. His base basically empty, but he doesn't have too many peasants there either. Another base getting taken by Retroblader. Retroblader is definitely in a better position, yeah? He has 5 bases against 3, and he's also 40 population ahead. It's just that he's playing really passively, so he's not really achieving much on the map. Plus he's lots of population also in the expansions and stuff, so the army is actually not that much larger. Legit's army is also not weak by any means, because he has a low amount of villagers, so the population is actually mainly in the army. He doesn't have any knights, doesn't have any pikemen, but still some swordsmen in the front line with 2 upgrades is fine. Lots of these to resurrect everything, lots of mages to decree and protect and dispel, and some elf rangers just to protect against some air potentially, together with the phoenixes. But you also have to keep in mind that Retroblader has lots of population in these guards, so he can either split push, or he can join it with this army and have something pretty strong. Then it's just about avoiding decrease with the guards to not get them one-shotted. But yeah, another base finished, but once again no saturation there. Guards actually flying into 6 towers is of course absolute madness, and now there are also phoenixes, so this is just loss of all these units, and here we can see how much population was in that, yeah, so now the difference is like 40% still, not 40%, 40 population, but Legit has way more resources in stock, so if you actually queues up units now, which he just did now, you can see the difference is only 10 population from like 50 or whatever it was before, so this was a huge loss for Retroblader. He's trying to take a base here in the front now. He has lots of spitters, 2 to upgrade, 2 free actually, also Venom 25 damage is really insane. Can still get higher, but he doesn't have any experience because he wasn't fighting at all. You really need to fight with Fallen throughout the game to get the experience, because now his army is just really weak. Also no auras in the Empire army, they both were not fighting, but we see insane value from decrease, no anti-magics. Now finally being placed down there, but army is already half dead. Freeze, no dispel on the freeze, so also a little bit slow there, so the army will still probably die. But there is also lots of population in the phoenixes here, and we mainly saw that Legit now queued up like 50 population of units, yeah, so if these knights would be there in the fight, it would be a total different scenario, of course, but he attacked right before his units that he just got into production actually arrived, so that was not ideal. Now he's playing on 2 bases, getting a third one, Retroblader trying to get some extra gems here at least, but he also doesn't have any gold and also 1 wood, so we can see that the wood problem is also striking him as well. Now he's transferring from this base to this base, I guess. And he also needs to saturate this one ideally. He spent so many resources, that's why he doesn't have any wood and also gold. He spent so many resources on all of these towers. This is like almost 1k gold. And 500 wood or something. Research complete, my lord. But yeah, he's giving lots of time to Legit to recover, because he's still 40 population ahead, so he could attack here. Potentially achieve something. There is a Circle of the Ancients. Disciples now being researched. Okay, he didn't have that yet, so definitely should wait for this. But yeah, still 50 population difference. Now Retroblader full population. When you get to full population, you should basically always be fighting, because unless you know that the opponent is also on full population and you have better defense and more expansions, better macro, better income, then you can stay defensive, because he is the one who has to push, otherwise he's just losing on resources. But also depends on the races, of course, but if you know that you are ahead in population, then you should always go for a fight. And this is really good timing, because it's still 8% missing for the Disciples. And let's see, will he get it? No. He started casting the abilities already, so they are more expensive. Now he got it, so now he should start casting most abilities, which is for most resurrections at least, but some of the decrees were casted before. But still insane decree value still happening. We don't see any anti-magic there. Now yes, but that's already after the decrease, and as you can see, Legit with 50 less population managed to deal with this fight pretty easily. I think Retroblader could have still finished this. Not sure exactly why he retreated here, but definitely this kind of put Legit back into the game pretty nicely. Because now he's gathering on 3 bases. This one is basically empty, so 2 bases. This is not saturated yet, but now he'll have the villagers for that, so 2 bases. Retroblader is getting another one, but he's getting on 1, to 3 on 3 bases fully. This one slowly saturating, and this one not at all basically yet. So it's like 3 against 4 bases, 3 against 2 bases now, and it will soon be 4 against 2. So definitely Retroblader still getting way more resources, should be able to saturate the population really quickly with some new units. He already lost all the guards and everything, so he can invest everything into the ground army, getting matriarchs, which is good. Maybe a little bit too many spitters at the same time. He has full upgrades there, and now he finally got some experience from the kills, so he also has level 3 on all units. And the Avengers are actually also full upgrades, okay. I mean, he just got double incubator and double throw shrine and pumped all the resources into that. Plus, of course, the towers here, and also upgraded all of them, so that's why he has such low resources, even though he has so much more income. There is a Stinger. I mean, yeah, nice enchant, and he will kill it with the peasants. At the same time, he's alerting about himself here, so if he takes this expansion now, it's really dangerous. Retroblader could go deal with that. Retroblader actually investing into 3 more vengeance halls, trying to get to 5, same as the hives. Could be probably a good idea. Still lots of resources, could be producing now. We don't see any production in a single building. So now I would quickly pump the extra 25 population and once again go for a quick push. But looks like his base will be slaughtered here. Let's see how he will react to that. But it also still has some population in the Phoenixes, so that's actually another advantage for Retroblader there. Of course, Knights will deal with that immediately, but there should be some reaction ideally. Okay, this is interesting. He should either try to defend this, even though he probably wouldn't get here in time, but he could easily still lock the army in there and kill it, especially with such a bad positioning. If now the fallen units would come here, it's GG, basically, and he definitely had time to get there, even though there are the Phoenixes, but he could also go around or something. But yeah, I guess there is another Phoenix, so he will have to go this way. But he can still lock the units here, maybe split the army even. Many options, or he could have just pushed some other base and trade a base for a base. Would be another option.
Upgrade complete, my lord.
That's the one I would choose if it would be even armies, but since he's ahead in population, I think it would be better to fight his army. 3 AFK Stingers here, 2 more Avengers, getting 2 more Dimension Gates as well. Full population, he has resources, good infrastructure, he has basically everything he needs to win here, but now he's in a really bad position in terms of formation. I mean, Avengers in the front are not bad, it's still a tankiest fallen unit. At the same time, the Knights are cutting through them pretty rapidly. And Avengers are the main damage you need to actually deal with the Knights, because the poison from the splitters is reduced by half, so that's not really working too well. Also, he's once again getting splashed down by decrease, we don't see any anti-magic. There is one Voidwalker actually just going into the front line and dying, and this is basically the whole army of Retroblader kinda dying there. Everything from Empire will be probably just resurrected. He has lots of mana for that, so basically no losses, and now Retroblader is in a really bad position. Also Legit managed to secure this base in the meantime, which means lots of extra gems for him, which is really valuable for Empire. He just needs to actually use the peasants there, which he just did now. Retroblader also lost 1 base in the meantime. This one is empty. And this one is gonna probably get destroyed, or he's at least not gathering gems here, so it's not even full income. So he's kinda on 3 bases, if he saturates them properly, but Legit as well. So now the income is actually even, Legit is 40 population ahead, and the income of Legit is actually, at least for a while, already a little bit better. Plus he has really good levels on the units with auras and stuff, more resources in stock. And as we said, more population. So at this point it's really hard for Retroblader to get back into the game from this position. At the same time he has really good defense, so if Legit will just rush into this, it might still kill his whole army. Depends how he will actually fight this. Of course he can still walk through this even without catapults. Knights are strong enough for that, but he needs to definitely put all the buffs there, which he's doing. And then resurrect really efficiently. There are no matriarchs, so he doesn't even need to pull back, he just really needs to resurrect in time and make sure that he doesn't throw anything too much. Of course decrease won't do much here, so I will just use the mages mainly for buffs and then maybe like focusing down towers. But yeah, should be fine. Nice focus with Avengers on the backline, but wasn't enough. And as you can see, Knights just kinda walk through this. And this was the last thing that Retroblader kinda had here. He's 60 population behind. There was so many resources in this. He's trying to get one base here. But still not getting any gems here. Yeah, he has like 10 villagers here on gold, but nothing on gems. Not like he would be struggling with gems, but that is not efficient anyways. Okay, he actually swapped to beholders. Made 6 of them, so decent resources, but he's completely stacked on one place and he's just getting splayed down by decrease. And also there is still the phoenixes and he's still on one place, and this is of course absolute one shot. Like it maintained the phoenixes throughout the whole game and in the end actually still used them. Also beholders are not so good against knights because it's still lightning damage and they take like half from that. Plus they take more damage from elf rangers, that spears 150%. Phoenix is also one-shot them pretty easily. Decrease also because they are, I mean it's big units with high HP pool, so decrease are not that efficient against it, and it's normal 100% damage. At the same time they are pretty big and slow, so it's not that hard to hit them, and actually pretty hard to avoid the decrease on the other hand. But of course with some stalkers it could work. He just didn't have the economy to actually make this swap well enough. Legit doesn't seem to be taking any more bases, but he has the resources, so it's not like he would really necessarily need it. Now he goes for this base, which is pretty easy kill, so probably better than pushing this. He can destroy the infrastructure here, which is important. And definitely if he doesn't know how much resources Retroblader has, not even approximately, then it would be a good idea, because he could have the same resources as Legit and still use all of this infrastructure to make some insane army. But if he's trying to just stop the income, then it's better to hunt these individual bases around the map which have open areas around them, so it's really easy to maneuver there. You can escape, you can surround and everything. And there is also usually not that strong defense, so in general, just better, but destroying infrastructure is also really important. But yeah, now it's just the last minutes until Retroblader resigns. He has no resources, 80 population remaining. Basically his last gathering base here. We see some stingers and beholders moving there actually still, okay. Level 5 knights. Insane resistances, but also now there is the protective shell, so another 15% for physical damage as well. Just to make sure that not even Avengers are countering it now. Not really, it was never a counter, but at least they dealt normal 100% damage to them, not like every other single unit of Fallen. But if you also put protective shells there, then even that damage is reduced by 15%. There was a Stinger push, not bad, but he also needed the beholders there. Those are just kinda chilling down here. Legit really doesn't want to push into the main base, it seems like. Really just going around the map and farming whatever he can. And Retroblader eventually calls it GG. So yeah, interesting game, 39 minutes, actually a pretty long one. 208 kills for Legit, 96 for Retroblader. And buildings, yeah, also destroy buildings here by Legit. Researches, 10 more for Retroblader actually. He was really over spamming them there in double Sorrow Shrine and double Incubator. And also 7k more gold, 2k more gems, 4k more spent gems. Interesting that Empire didn't spend 4k gems, but he just didn't need it. He was on full population and had the resources available, so really efficient fighting there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one, so take care guys.